And of course, the one I just finished, I don't know what it's called yet, but there's a lot of interesting things in it. So maybe you could suggest a name. I don't know. Anybody have any ideas on what this should be called?
Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Cheryl, and if you're joining me for the first time, uh, this this vlog has been dedicated to my experience with the Milan Art Institute Mastery Program. And this is one of my final videos. I have probably, I want to say, 2 left to do. I'm about to finish and graduate. I actually finished all the lessons. I'm just working on my portfolio, my website, and getting ready to launch my business. So, welcome. And this is just an update of what I've been up to. Thanks for being here.
Hi, I'm coming to you from my kind of our side yard. It's not really our backyard. I showed you our backyard in the intro. Yeah, so I'm just watching the sunset, trying to look at the mountains and so on around us. It's normally much more, it was actually a beautiful day, but what's happened is there's fires in Riverside County, which is I would say northwest of me, and that is causing all kinds of haze, and plus the wind blowing, the sand in the wash area by Palm Springs churns up and kind of fogs things up. Anyway, so this is one of my final videos for the Milan Institute program, and in this video I'm going to help you understand how, well, I'm just going to show you how I put my portfolio pieces together on the website, and then show you a few clips of me finalizing my last of the desert series, and then I'm going to I already started my final series of my current portfolio, and that is the what I call Forest Fantasy, and it's going to be a mountain theme. So I've started working on that, and I'll share what I'm doing on that in my next video. And then the final video will be graduation and just a final review of the overall program. So we're getting down to the wire. Thanks for being with me on this wonderful journey.
So here I am. I'm opening up my website, and I'm going to show you how I create my portfolio page. I use Squarespace, and it's pretty easy and straightforward. It has a lot of page templates. So I'm going to click on my Desert Dreams, which I've already set up as one of my sections of my portfolio. So it's like a category. And then I go to Edit, and then click on what I want to edit. So that is the gallery. So I go to Edit Gallery. And now I'm going to, I already added a bunch, but I'm going to add another one and upload the image. So I go in, upload my image. They happen to just be in my download file right now. And I open that one, and you can see that it's pulling it in. Once it pulls it in, then I'm going to click on it. And I will go in and do a description. I'll probably change the description or fix it later, but for now, I'm just typing in something to hold its place that tells about the image. And this image probably isn't going to stay here because there's still some editing to do on this painting, but I wanted to at least have an example for you, and this was just an easy one to grab. So here we are, and the desert tortoise So this is what I would do. I'd add the image, put in the description, and then you can see it asks about a link down at the bottom. That is going to happen later. So the link, there's a settings button, and we will actually use that settings button below later. It's going to give you a chance to link this so that when someone clicks on it, they actually can open up a bigger view of it. So that is something we'll go back to. So we're going to close this. Okay, close this one out and then exit this part, because now we need to create the page that this tortoise is going to be linked to. So we're going to exit, and then we go to pages, and you can see that there's a lot of pages here. They're not going to be noticeable unless you click on something. These pages up here are all on the top navigation bar. So these pages are pages that are kind of hidden unless you click on them. So I'm going to create one new one, blank page, and I'm going to put in Desert Tortoise. It should be Desert Tortoise View, but for now I've got Desert Tortoise. And then it opens up a blank page. So now I'm going to go to edit because I want to edit the page. So I'm going to click on edit up there and then add a section. And the type of section I want to add is an image section. So I'm going to scroll down to images, and they have all kinds of different templates you can use. I'm going to just get a single image. So there's the single image. Now I'm going to click on the image so I can edit it to put in my image. So I go up to the edit icon. Now I need to go over and replace their image with mine. And I'm going to go to library because I've already uploaded that one. So I just click on it and I add, and now that image will pop in. So it's ready to go, except you notice at the bottom of that image, you will see that I need to fix how it sits, because the image itself was missing its legs. So I need to go to fit because it was in fill. See how it's missing its bottom half? Because it's in fill. It's filling the whole section that's been designated for that image. So I need to click on edit the image. Click on the image, go to edit. And I forgot to do this in the beginning. You know, to go to design, and you need to click on fit. That way it's going to give you the entire image. So then I center it, and now I go to save. Okay, and exit. And now the image, go to portfolio. I don't know why I went all this long way around. Click back into the category, and now you can see that it's been added, and if you click on it, you can get the bigger version of it. Oh, but wait, no, you can't yet because you have to go to Edit Gallery, and you go in, click on it again, and now we go to that Settings, and when you click on Settings, now you go in and you scroll down to Pages, or you go down to Pages, you click on Pages because you want the link to be a page link. And now you type in, or you click, and it gives you all the options. Well, we can see Desert Tortoise. So click on that, and then click on Open in a new window. That way it opens up in its own window. Okay, save. And now when we go back, exit the edit page. Now when we go back into portfolios and we go into Desert Dreams, so on the website, you'll be able to click on Desert Dreams, scroll down, and now you click on the tortoise, and now you have a full page image of that particular piece. So that's how you put together a page and a gallery and so on. So that's how I've been working on putting my portfolio together. So now I just need to complete my forest one, and it will all be completed. So there you go. I really got excited about this painting. And it still needs a little bit of work. I'm gonna show you the finished product and have it displayed with my other desert paintings, but there's a few touch-up things I need to do to it. But I was excited about it, I guess, because I'm trying to experiment with sort of, I guess you'd call it an ethereal look. I like the thought of blurred background with the um, more clear forward um, in front images. And so I thought I'd try it out with this one. I'm trying to get better at figure painting. It's never been my thing, but I want to play with it a little more. So I thought I'd do one with a woman in the desert, since I was working on desert themes. And as I stated in a previous video, monarch butterflies are really important in California, any area they're in, I assume, but in California and especially in the desert, because between the butterflies and the bees, the flowers and the crops that are grown, believe it or not, in the desert, we have Coachella Valley. And maybe one video I'll show you what that looks like. But the Coachella Valley and parts of the desert in California and going into parts of Arizona, and of course Mexico, there's, believe it or not, really fertile, good land near the river for growing crops. And a lot of the crops for Southern California are grown right here in the Coachella Valley. So where I live, Desert Hot Springs and Palm Springs, Palm Desert, all La Quinta, all the places you've heard of before, Salton Sea even, that's all part of the Coachella Valley. And then it ends up near Salton Sea. It goes into the Imperial Valley. Imperial Valley is a very important crop growing area. So all of it's interconnected, and the monarch butterflies and the bees are so important to that area. So I wanted to honor them in this painting. Also, though, I know that butterflies, monarchs in particular, have very deep spiritual meanings, or very deep meanings, and they represent so many different things. And I'm not going to go into detail with that right now, because I feel like that's something personal that you can check out and see for yourself if it's something that resonates with you. And in this painting, I have this hourglass that's broken, and the sands are spilling out of it and mingling with the desert sands. And again, I'm not going to go into too much detail about the meaning for me, because I want you to have your own meaning for that. I don't mind sharing my story or narrating what my feelings are about my paintings. In fact, I love doing that, and I like telling stories in my paintings. But I don't want to give too much of what I think, because I feel like the viewer would have a much better time if they're able to come up with their own narrative. It's kind of like, I don't know, I suppose some books, when I was growing up, I really loved illustrations in books. But then when I'd read books without illustrations, I have such a vivid imagination that I would have visions of what I was reading, and I would see it in my mind, as an image or as a play moving in my mind. So then if I ever saw a movie of the book version, um, a movie version of the book, sometimes I'd be disappointed because what was in my mind was so different from what they portrayed in the movie. So it just depends, I guess. But I don't want to give away too much. I want people to use their own imagination, tell a story by looking at the painting, tell their own story about it. So I invite you to do that. Later I'll show the finished product, although I'm sure I'll find other things to touch up. So it's probably not actually the finished product, because if you know me by now, you know that I never know when something's done, and I always end up giving it a last minute tweak in the end. But the nearly finished product, will be shown. And when you see it, I would like for you to kind of come up with your own story. And then based on the story that you see, help me come up with a title for this painting. I'm not sure what to call it. I've thought of things like Queen of the Desert or The Sands of Time, or I don't know. But I really would like to see what my viewers think about an appropriate name for this painting. So I would love it if you'd leave in the comments your suggestion for a title. And if I choose your title, I will say thank you and give you a shout out in my next video. And I will use your title. So I appreciate your effort and your interaction with me. That's kind of a fun thing to do. So here I'm going back and forth with different shades. I wanted to get the tone just right on her skin because I feel like, the sunlight is shining from the kind of the upper right, and as if it's over my shoulder, let's say the sun is shining onto her. And so I wanted to create a realistic portrayal of where that sunlight is. So I kept playing with it and going back and forth. And then you won't see this in this video, but later on I also go in and I tweak the hourglass a little bit so that you can tell that sand is pouring out of it. I don't know if you'll see that on the video or not, but one thing I know you won't see is where I go in and I shade the butterflies a little bit more so that there's some depth to them in how they might look in the sunlight, which was tricky because it's hard to find. It was hard for me to find an image that actually showed the different values based on sunlight on butterfly wings. So I kind of had to wing it. Get the joke? Anyway, yeah, I had to go in and try to figure that out on my own. So I hope that this is giving you a sense of how I pull my paintings together. My future videos, once I've graduated, are primarily going to be just talking and music and watching me paint, and maybe little field trips here and there around where I live and up to our cabin. But I will also do tutorials because I feel like I've kind of started to fall into my process to the point that I'm confident in what I do. I'm happy with how I'm doing things. I'm not always happy with the paintings, but I'm not sure most artists, I think most artists are like me in that there's always something else that we feel like we need to fix, or it's like you never quite get what you really wanted it to be. Um, but then there are paintings where you're like, oh my gosh, this is better than I ever thought it could be. So my future videos, once I've graduated and I'm finished with Milan, are going to be more about technique and process and inspiration. So I hope that you stick with me, because I do notice that most of the views that I get are those videos that are about my reviews on the Milan program. And that's great. That's great, because I feel really good about the network of Milan students that I've just been so grateful for, because I've learned so much from fellow students, and it's been fun to go through this process with students out there who are interacting from all parts of the world. That's amazing to me. I just love that. Um, but once I'm finished, obviously, I won't have any more to say about Milan. So it'll be just me going solo with my business and my art, and you. And if you're interested in what happens to me and in my journey beyond Milan, I appreciate you sticking with me. Um, and we can share and trade ideas and suggestions and inspiration. And that's what I want my channel to be about. It's still going to be about artists networking and interacting and learning from each other. So whether you are with Milan or not, whether you've graduated or not, this channel is going to be about artists learning from artists. Um, and and also anyone out there who's just interested in art and interested in my art in particular, and wants to see what I'm doing and what pieces might be available. So I hope you like this painting, and I would love to hear what you think about it. And I would really like to hear what you think it should be titled. In the meantime, yeah, I'm trying to get the finishing touches in. I used a little alizarin crimson for the shading and like the back side of the dress. I'm not sure I like what I did there. I don't know if that'll change or not. But I just kind of mixed it in with the orange to push it back a little bit. I don't know if it worked. We'll see. Once it dries, I can usually tell if I like what I did. So we'll see. But yeah, I was just trying to push the back of the dress back and then lighten the front of the dress to capture the sunlight. My desert collection is finished, minus I'm missing the desert morning meetup, the big desert picture with the coyote and the hare and the roadrunner, because I just dropped that off at the gallery for the art show in Joshua Tree. So anyway, all my little critters, my little roadrunner, ball cactus, which has a high gloss finish, which was probably a mistake, but anyway, my teeny tiny little cactus, the diptych, the owls,
lizard and turtle, quail, and another little ball cactus. And of course the one I just finished. I don't know what it's called yet, but there's a lot of interesting things in it. So maybe you could suggest a name. I don't know. Anybody have any ideas on what this should be called? Anyway, so the desert series is complete.